In this lesson, we're going to take a look at the colour wheel. So the colour wheel teaches us the colour theory of primary colours, secondary colours and even tertiary colours. So we can learn a lot here. We're going to learn a lot about mixing and how we can create different types of colours, different tones. So we're going to start off first of all with the three primary colours, which are the most important colours. The three primary colours are red, yellow and blue. So these are colours that cannot be mixed, but we can mix them to create other colours. So first of all, I'm just going to teach you a little bit about what good painting looks like. So we're going to start off with yellow, move on to red and then move on to blue. The reason that we're starting off with yellow is because it's the lightest colour and that way we don't have to change our water. So we're going to start off with the lightest colour, and when you are painting as well, we should generally always start off with the lightest colour. Just in case we make a mistake, we can always paint over the top of it. But if you start off with a dark colour, you can't paint over the top of it. Well, not easily. So the first thing I'm going to do, I've just wet my paintbrush and I am adding a little bit of water to the yellow powder. You can either do that in the well, which I'll show you how to do. So just put a little bit of water into the well. And what we're looking for here is a nice thick paint consistency. So we don't want our colours, we don't want our paint to be thin, we want it to be bright and bold. And to get that, what you're going to have to do is spend a little bit of time just mixing the powder with the water. You can either do that here or you can do that here. It doesn't matter. So I generally say spend about 10 to 20 seconds just working that water into the powder, and then you can do a little test. So I'm going to take my paintbrush out. I'm going to zoom over to, and I'll zoom in, my colour wheel where it says yellow, so it's a primary colour, it's going to go into the primary section. And if I paint a little sample, I'll be able to tell if it's too watery or if it's nice and thick. And I think I've got a good paint consistency here because it's nice and bold. The colour is bright and it looks thick. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start right in the centre with the tip of my brush. So what does good painting look like? All of your brush strokes should be moving in the same direction. I'm just going to pick up a bit more paint now. So all of your brush strokes are moving in the same direction and they are following the outline of the shape. My brush strokes are nice and small. I'm not trying to paint too much at once. I've got no white gaps. And I'm not going out of the shape. So it might get a little bit tricky when you come to the edge, so all you need to do is turn your paper, just make your hand nice and comfortable, and then using the tip of the brush, just finish that triangle off. But do notice how tiny my brush strokes are, using the tip of the brush. And there we go, the yellow section is painted. So now I'm going to go over to my water, I'm going to give it a little rinse out, rinse the paintbrush. and just dry off that excess. So now I'm ready to move on to the red section. So a little bit of water on your paintbrush, put it into the well of the paint. So this is a powder block. So I'm putting some water in, and then I'm going to spend about 10 to 20 seconds just mixing that around so that the water and the powder mix together to create sort of like a milkshake consistency. So I think I'm about ready. We try at all times to protect our paintbrush, so when we are mixing we'll be nice and gentle and we're going in one direction, just around the edge. So I don't want too much paint on my brush, so I'm just going to dab some off. I can always go back and pick some more up if I need to. So I'm going to go to my colour wheel and I'm going to get it in the right angle for my hand to make it nice and comfortable. I'm going to start in the middle, so I'm looking at where I've wrote red, and it is a primary colour. So we're starting in the centre. Our brush strokes are nice and small. We're trying our absolute best to stay inside the lines. And all of our brush strokes are moving in the same direction, which is following the outline of the shape. Pick up more paint if you start to run out. No white gaps. And feel free to turn your colour wheel just to get your hand more comfortable if you need to. And there we go, there's our second section painted, and then the next primary colour and the final primary colour that we're going to move on to is blue. So I'm going to wash my paintbrush, and because I've gone from light to dark, I don't need to change my water at the minute. So I'm moving over to that blue powder. I'm going to put some water into the well, and then I'm going to spend 10 seconds just mixing that around. So just double checking that you are painting in the correct box. The box says blue and it says primary. Okay, so I've tested it, it's nice and thick, so I'm going to start from the middle. And there we go, the blue section is complete. So that's our 3 primary colours completed, and we are ready to move on to the secondary colours.